Out of love, a chat with Douglas. I met Douglas, a tall, dark-skinned young man, while queuing for my national ID at a local government facility in Nansana in April 2021. Searching his face, I figured he was somewhere between his mid or late 20s. Knowing how agonizingly slow those queues can be before you're eventually tended to, if you're lucky enough not to be asked to come back the following day, Douglas and I talked for hours. And luckily for me, we did not talk about politics. Somehow, without intent, we managed to avoid the torturesome topic and simply talked about life, football, and his days in school, largely high school and university. I would come to learn that he is a Chelsea fan. While taking stock of the slowness of the NIRA, National Identification and Registration Authority, employees along with everyone else that was still in the line, our sights both landed on a beautiful girl standing in the ladies' queue, waiting to be served like the rest of us. Normally, guys would jump at the idea of helping such a lady to get served and send her on her way, regardless of their motives. The way we saw it, we were lucky that she was still in the queue, but we're equally in sync that it's possible they NIRA guys hadn't seen her yet. A few shades from being considered brown, she was fairly short, wearing a multicolored top and designer pants that would pass for pajamas with light ankle socks and Crocs on her feet. Her hair wasn't plaited, but simply combed naturally into a puff with a flowery puff holder. Her fingernails were well varnished in mauve. With her, she carried a small thin strap backpack and a big smartphone, adorned with a shiny phone cover that had cat ear-like extensions at the top. She would pass for a second or third-year university student, if not a fresh graduate. Without looking or pointing in her direction, I asked Douglas to make a move, adding that even if he didn't receive his national ID on this particular day, there would still be something to count out of this day. Making sure it didn't just go to waste, his only memory of it being having met a jobless me and the scorching sun that we both had to withstand. He declined to make a move, saying that he took a love break. And before I could interject with the why question that would be accompanied with some form of encouragement, he laid it all out for me, saying, "It's been more than half a decade since I last ever felt the real emotions of this thing called love. Not because there wasn't anybody worthy of my emotions, but for the most part, I considered my emotional capital too little to be invested in someone's daughter, let alone sustain a relationship. Secondly, I didn't want to be punished for the sins of others, a character I have found many women to bear, nor did I want to punish some of you. Over the years, while I ponder my love options, I did also mull extensively on how I could protect my fragile, and as I have come to learn, a highly emotional heart from being hurt again or having to carry water that's not meant for me," Douglas noted as he delivered his objection. He thirdly pointed out that he also ruminated his financial inconsistencies, deeming them reasonably apparent to sustain a grown-up relationship for someone of my age, caliber, and personal preference. And if I ever needed any reminder to emphasize that point, COVID-19 and its extensive effects did not disappoint in that regard. If I found my heart falling for anyone, I was quick to serve at the lessons of my past, the intellect of my brain that looked at all views with objectivity rather than being blinded by the heart's desires. At the end of each instance, both organs, the brain and heart, would come to a mutual agreement about what was best for me, oftentimes saying, "If you're to love, please do it with your head and not your heart." He explained dazzlingly, concluding that for now he is out of love. Over the years, I have come to learn, although with troubling difficulty, that it is much easier to stomach brain disappointments than heart disappointments once in love. No wonder I couldn't argue otherwise with Douglas, but rather to feed on his brilliant self. At the end of it all, as the clock struck approximately 3:47 p.m., we both received our national IDs, each of us visibly exhausted from the long hours of standing that we even never bothered to scan the crowd for the girl that got us talking that much in the first place. Although I did not get his contact, I pray and hope to meet Douglas again one day. Hi everyone, this is Robert K. Circles. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast today. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, I'd be incredibly grateful if you could take a moment to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. Give us a like on your favorite podcast platform. Leave a comment letting us know what you thought. We love hearing your feedback. And if you know someone who might enjoy the show, please share it with them. Your support means the world to me and helps us reach more listeners. Thanks again for being a part of the Robert K. Circles community. Until next time, take care.